First things first, guys. How are you?
Good.
Doing fantastic. This is our first time at Pinkpop, and it's kind of legendary. It's one of those things that we've watched live footage from Pinkpop over the years, especially throughout the 90s, and oh man, it would be so cool to be there. Now, today we are. So I'm stoked. That's why I got up too early.
Yeah, it was awesome. We got to spend the day yesterday too, like we were talking earlier. We got to see the Chili Peppers and a whole bunch of cool bands. So today, unfortunately, we have to leave like right after our show because we're playing Download in Donington tomorrow. Okay. And it's a long drive, so can't see Rammstein today.
If you were here, would you stay to see them?
Totally.
Okay.
We got to see Rammstein in Milan about a week ago, and
it was
just like the most epic production I've ever seen like in my life. It's just ridiculous, you know. It's like, wow, there you go.
Definitely.
Good luck topping that, you know. Good luck, Kiss.
Is there a sense then, because their live shows are so elaborate and energetic, do you kind of try to live up to something like that?
I guess in
it would
a
be
sense,
cool someday.
Someday we haven't always bet on a whole lot of production with us because we're kind of one of those rock bands where we plug in and we play. We don't use a click track or tracks or of any sort. It's just basically us communicating with each other and the audience.
It's a totally different style.
We've taken the more Rage Against the Machine approach, whereas like we don't even need a backdrop anymore. But it's just amazing to watch, and like I'm sure at some point in time in our career, we would want to try something like that.
Yeah, you know, I think everybody
all
should.
The pyro, light everything on fire.
It's a totally different style. They're more kind of like industrial metal, like you know, and it works so good for them, you know. But we're kind of a, you know, down and dirty, plug your guitar in and play band. So, but who knows? I want to have fire. That'd be awesome.
But in that sense, do you consider yourselves as a live band more than a studio band, so to say?
I think so. I think we've always kind of primarily been a touring live band. It's gotten to the point where I think we go into the studio, every time we make a record, it's about a month to make, you know, and mix and everything on average. And I feel like we go into the studio just so that we can have new material to go out and play live. So yeah, I think so. I love being in the studio.
Feels
I really
longer
do.
Than that. Wow.
But yeah.
But you do tour quite heavily, so what keeps you going, so to say? Because I've talked to many musicians who said the touring part is kind of the hardest part of being a musician.
It is the hardest, but for us it's kind of it's a good type of tired and it's a good type of work to do. This is all we've ever wanted to do in life, and we've been a four-piece for it's almost 14 years now, and a band for almost 19, and so far we haven't killed each other yet. And we really do enjoy hanging out and doing this every day. Like you get the same feeling before you go on every night. It's like, okay, here we go, rock show's happening, and I think we over the course of many years just kind of got addicted to it.
Yeah, I don't think that we know how to live normal lives, so this is the abnormal life we've been living forever, you know.
Does it help in a sense in that you have a sibling beside you in this journey?
I don't know, what do you think, sis?
I think so, absolutely, because it's always been...
Wait, there's a couple gray hairs there.
Yeah, that's from you, that's from you.
Yeah, you know what's cool about having like the literal family chemistry kind of branches off onto everybody else in our band and crew. Like our guitar player and bass player Joe and Josh might as well be our actual siblings, and all of our crew and everybody, like we're like one big traveling family, and that makes touring a lot easier when everybody gets along like a family, you know.
And in that sense, do you also have time to kind of decompress and get everything out, completely not focus on music for a week, or do you ever?
It's gotten more difficult to do that because even just last year we tallied up all the days that we were on the road, and it was like 258 days on the road last year, and we're going to exceed that this year. So really, you do tour, and then you come off the road for like what? 5 days, something like that, and so it's not really enough time to like get used to normal life. So you're just like in purgatory, like, okay, I don't have a show. What do I do? What do I do with my life? You know, and until you get back on the road, I don't know. You find little moments here and there.
I don't think we know how to sit still. So when we're at home, we're keeping busy with either writing new music or just practicing or whatever. You know. Really you never stop.
It's really difficult to do nothing. That's a lot, you know. It's like if you try to force yourself for a day to just like, okay, I'm just gonna like watch Netflix or something.
Yeah.
You get to the point where like I just feel I gotta do something.
Yeah, you kind of feel guilty.
My laundry.
My wife's the same way. My wife is like a total busybody, and singer-songwriter, and like we every time we like go like we're gonna sit down and watch a movie, we get about 15 minutes in and then we start doing something. So it's like I don't think we know how to sit still.
Yeah.
Okay. And in that sense, then is it is the excitement you get from performing live, and then is that the same as you say 19 years ago?
For me, it is, it's also. Phantom knocks. It's I don't know. It's also kind of a physical thing too, where it's like you don't really get nervous anymore, but it's that same kind of butterflies. I've been describing it kind of like going up that first ramp on a roller coaster, right before the first drop. And you've done this a million times before. You've gone on many roller coasters. You know what's coming, and that's the rock show. It's coming. But the whole time you're like, oh my God. It's like, here we go. So it's that same thing. And I get ready way too early usually. And all right, I'm ready to rock show now. And then it's very tough to come down off of that too, because you get such a high from being in front of an audience and doing your thing on stage, and really the one thing that you've always wanted to do in life. So then afterward, this is why we drink. Afterward, we're like, we're still, it lasts for a couple hours until you finally crash on the bus. So.
And then part of it also, you tour with a lot of different people, so that must keep it exciting. For instance, Lita Ford.
Oh yeah.
That was awesome.
So cool.
Lita Ford and Dorothy, both those bands were, that definitely made that tour a lot of fun, just because there were no egos, everybody was really laid back, and really made it enjoyable for everybody.
Surrounded by crazy bitches.
Yeah. Awesome.
Is someone like Lita Ford, is that important for you?
Oh, absolutely, because she's very blunt and very honest, and she always has been. And she'll walk up on stage and be like, you know what? I'm fucking 57 years old, still in my leather pants and rocking in front of all you people. And it's just kind of life goal for me, because I told him, I'm like, next time I'm like, oh, I'm tired. Or I'm like, what's my excuse? She gets up there and does that.
What would Lita do?
What would Lita do? Yes.
She's a badass.
Yeah, so it's very cool.
And well, you've talked about this before, but the hard rock metal genre can be quite male domineering. So is that important to have those female role models, and yourself becoming one now as well?
Oh, of course. And one common thing that I've noticed just from talking to Lita Ford and talking to Pat Benatar and talking to Nancy Wilson and then some of my peers, as in Amy Lee and Taylor Momsen and everyone of the like, we all kind of have that same mentality where we all, in the beginning of all this, kind of put blinders on, and because really, you're judging yourself against yourself. It's like you ask yourself every day, like, did I do a good job for me today? So in a lot of ways, no matter what, if anyone is looking at us differently because we're girls, we don't actually really notice anymore, especially since most of us just tour with a bunch of dudes. So after a while, you kind of forget that you're the only girl around until you start making really horrible jokes, and then everyone looks at you funny. Like, I didn't expect that coming out of your mouth.
Delivery just isn't the same.
Yeah, it's just not the same.
Okay. Well, the Runaways, were they a big influence? Did you listen to them a lot?
I did. The crazy thing about the Runaways is that, at least in my generation, I can look at all of these girls that came before me and say, oh, well, it can be done. When the Runaways came out, there was nothing like that. And these poor girls were like 13 and 14 at the time. Right. So no clue, even how to have a real job, let alone, being thrust into rock and roll, So they kind of, the fact that most of them said, you know what, I'm not going to quit. I'm going to keep going, like Lita Ford and like Joan Jett. To me, that was the biggest form of courage, because if they had said, oh, you know what, this isn't going to work, and quit, maybe some people that came after that, myself included, would be like, I don't know, there really isn't anybody doing this. So yeah, I'm very thankful.
Have you heard a reaction from a fan yourself who kind of expressed a similar sentiment where she said, well, I am a girl, I'm in a band, and you kind of
Yeah, we've gotten a lot of people coming to our shows. A lot of little girls, specifically, just in the past couple of years, and they come and they bring their guitar and I'll sign their guitar, and they're like, "Hey, I'm starting a band," and a lot of them say the same thing. It's like, well, you're proof that you can do this as a career, regardless of your gender, and it's super humbling for me because I never set out to be that for anybody. Sure. But now that it's kind of come full circle, you want to be that for these girls, you know. So
I think I have to stop. Quickly, one more question. Your previous album came out, I think, just over a year ago.
Yeah.
Have you started on a new record already?
Yeah. I have actually. I mean, at least started writing.
We really haven't stopped since we released the last record. The last time we went to the studio, we were just kind of like, oh boy, what are we doing? It was like crunch time. We're just like kind of stressed out about it. This time we're kind of trying to be a little bit more prepared. Okay. So when we go in, we have a little bit more of songs to choose from. But yeah, we're all individually writing. We're writing together. We're trying to just get an idea of where we want to go, what direction we want to go.
Literally writing every day.
Okay. Yeah. Do you notice where it's going already?
We're starting to get a clearer idea.
Yeah.
Like a couple months ago, I had no idea what we wanted to do next, and so just kind of write everything, all the things.
We're about to go in the studio and record another cover EP, and every time we go to do that, we get inspired heavily by the songs that we learn and that we work up. You know, it's a great way to kind of, you know,
get a gauge,
get an idea of like different ways of songwriting. So I think after we do that, it'll be, I think we'll have a whole new batch of inspiration, you know, so that'll be cool.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks for having us. Yeah.